Hey guys, welcome back again. And it just feels like a couple minutes ago I was just talking about, the age difference and what to expect between 15 and 19. So this video we're going to cover what it is and how you want to invest and how you want to start looking at your future to help build that financial freedom, to build that wealth so that you don't have to work. You don't have to worry about the next paycheck or your next job or the next gig or whatever it is that you have to worry about constantly to make your bills and make your ends meet. So in this video, we're just going to talk about what to expect from the ages of like 18 to about 25, maybe 30 at the latest. So most kids and almost every kid has been taught whenever they go into school, hey, you guys should start thinking about what it is that you want to do in a career. What college would you like to go to? What kind of degree would you like to pursue? All these things start going into your head about you should do this or you should do that. You should look to be an architect, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, or an airline pilot, or a construction person, or an engineer, or something like that. So now you're bombarded with all these ideas and you have no idea what your path is. Or you could be told, hey, you know what? You have no idea what you want to do, join the military. So okay, now you're thinking about joining the military, if you're thinking about joining the military. And now which branch do you choose? Do you choose the Navy? Do you choose the Marines, the Coast Guard, the Air Force? What do you do? So now, when it comes to that time, and you have plenty of time, I'm assuming that you're still fairly young, you ain't quite yet at that 18-year-old age, but even if you are, let's say that you're 18 and you're about to graduate. You have plenty of options, a plethora of options to do. You can not go to college. You could just start working immediately right after high school. And a lot of people have, and a lot of people that haven't even gone to one day in college, have not gone and spent any time in college, have become very successful. Now it just depends on you, what your job opportunities, what are those opportunities that you have that are afforded to you. Not everybody has that opportunity. So the chances of you succeeding by not going to college is very slim and very tough. You have to be a very driven person, someone who has an idea and a way to pursue that, or help from family members, from other relatives, or people that are well-to-do that can help you get on your feet and show you and take you on a path into your own streetwise college. So it's a whole nother level of learning. So let's say that's not you. You can't do that. You're told you need to go to college, you need to pursue something, but you're like, what do I pursue? I would suggest this. Take your time, sit back and look at the things around you. Ask people questions. If you are considering something like, I don't know, maybe you want to become a doctor, maybe you want to become a nurse or something like that. What does a doctor do? What is their daily routine? What is their life? How much college did they have to pursue? How much, I forgot what the word is right now that I'm looking for, where you had to do residency. How long was your residency? How long did you have to work as an apprentice somewhere or something like that? What all is entailed? Like what am I looking at here? What are the different fields that I can even consider? Is it pharmaceutical? Is it going to be pediatrics? Is it going to be some kind of dermatology? Is it going to be whatever? You just name it. There's so much stuff that you can do with biology and things like that if you're going into the medical field. You can get into the chemistry side of things. You can learn, maybe you want to learn and do some research on what's the latest I can, or what can I get involved in to help research cancer curing drugs or something like that. What can I get involved in? Which degree would take me down that path to become a chemist? Or maybe you want to become a lawyer. Okay, so you want to become a lawyer. Maybe you want to start talking to lawyers. Maybe you know a lawyer, maybe you know a family member that's a lawyer, and you can get that information about what to expect, what you need to learn, what kind of classes you need to take, how long does it take, how much is the schooling. So these kind of things you can kind of start pursuing without actually pursuing it. You just start asking questions. You're building your knowledge base. Be like, okay, I really don't want to be a lawyer because, it's going to be a lot of work and I'm going to have to work for a firm and they're going to have me working all these crazy hours or something like that, and I'm not going to get paid that much. And I'm going to have all this college debt and stuff like that you will start to consider. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. So maybe there's the engineering side of things. There are tons of different kinds of engineering out there. There's mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, computer engineering, network engineering, and the list goes on for the different types of engineering. So maybe you want to do architecture, maybe you want to do I don't know, agricultural type stuff. Maybe you want to get involved in city planning or something like that. Maybe you want to be a librarian. Well, how much does a librarian pay? How much pay does a librarian make? You have to consider this. Now, if you're looking at these numbers and you find out, oh, this is how much it is to go to school, you look at the grand total. How much is it going to cost to live? Where do you want to live? What kind of car do you want to drive? What are your bills that you're looking at? And then match that income. Oh, my starting pay is going to be $10 an hour. Okay, well, if I'm making $10 an hour and I punch into the IRS.gov website, this is my hourly rate. How much do I need to pay in taxes? And then what is my bottom line that I'm taking home if I work, 40 hours a week, 35 to 40 hours a week. If I work part-time, it's going to be less than 40, obviously. But if you're working full-time and they allow overtime, how much money can I take home after taxes? And then what is my cost of living expenses and things like that? So you can kind of start to dig deep. And you can see how deep we're already getting here. Just looking at and analyzing, your cost of living, your car, your water bill, your electric bill, all these things that you got to take in consideration. And then now you're going to have a student loan. So start doing this research. Do it for free behind the scenes before you even step foot into college, because you don't want to waste your time going to college for something that's only going to pay you minimum wage. So that's another thing that I need to talk about here too. There's nothing wrong with going to school. There's nothing wrong with going to college and getting a degree. And most statistics will show you that at least having a bachelor's degree or some kind of education, when you get out of college with a bachelor's degree, you will make a decent amount of money compared to someone who just has a high school diploma or a GED. So if you're trying to pursue something and you're not really quite sure, like, is this really the field I really want to get into? Go to an associate's level. Get your foot in the door, go to college, and start an associate's level at that career field. And you'll quickly learn by other students, by the classes, by everything that you're having to do. You'll be like, yeah, this is not for me. I'm not a chemist person. I can't think straight on the chemical periodic tables, whatever it is that they do. And maybe you want to pursue something else. Maybe you're like, man, this looks really interesting. I want to do accounting. I like numbers. I'm good with math. Maybe you pursue that and you find out, oh man, I got to memorize all these laws and things like that deal with accounting. I gotta know what the IRS tax code is and how it affects everything, what balance sheets are. And you're like, man, I don't want to do math. I don't want to be a CPA. Then you're like, oh, maybe I want to be a computer engineer. What does a computer engineer do? So this is what I'm saying about the research part. Take your time before you're in college. Start asking questions. If there's somebody that's out there that sparks your interest and you like what they do, ask them questions. How'd they get there? Maybe they might tell you how much they make. They might not tell you how much they make, but you can ask around, and you can also go on Glassdoor and type in the job title. You can ask them, what is it that you do? And how long did it take you to get there? What school did you go to? What is your degree? What kind of jobs did you have to do to get to that position? Maybe they're a business owner. Like, what did they do? How did they get to that position? Oh, I took a loan out. I took a chance or whatever. So there's a lot of questions you can ask before you even step into college. So from a financial thing, so we're looking at financial freedom and independence. That's what this whole channel is about. If you're trying to make that money so that you can get to that level, you're going to want to go to school. And I would suggest that you go into something that's accounting based. I mean, obviously you like numbers, you wouldn't be here looking at this channel. So maybe you want to learn accounting. You can learn how to become a financial advisor or something like that. I'm not a financial advisor at all. But let's just say that you are interested in it. You're like, okay, well, I want to know how to invest in stocks and bonds and mutual funds and IRAs and REITs and everything else. What is it that's so fascinating about all this stuff? Maybe there's hidden secrets somewhere on how the economy works and things like that. So that's just an option. You can go to school and become that and work for a company, and while you're building your nest egg on the side, you're continuing to learn how to handle your taxes, how to handle corporate taxes, how to handle your own finances and budgeting, and all those numbers and all those things are great for building that financial stability and that financial independence and that retiring early mindset. It'll start stepping you into that path. The pay may not be that good, but the knowledge will be awesome. If you're trying to do something to earn money and you're really good mechanically inclined, you can solve things in your mind. At least you can think things through logically and stuff like that, and solve things. Maybe you go into computers, maybe you go into IT or networking or something like that, and you can get decent jobs with big companies. And sure, the pay may not be a lot in the beginning. It may start off at $14 an hour, but if you go with a bigger company, the pay will start to go up. You go for your bachelor's degree, and you may walk out with a $40,000-$50,000 a year job easily right out of college. And you don't have to go for a master's degree, a PhD, or any of that stuff, because I feel like I can speak 100% on what I do, because I am a network engineer. So what I do is I do a lot more than just build out networks. So I build out systems and computer components and things like that. So I don't design the actual components, but I build out systems that will gather data and present it to engineers and operators and things like that. So it's I'm like the middleman that builds these machines, that gathers data from machines. I build servers and computers and things like that, maintain databases and software, and the whole get and gamble. But the whole point, what I'm trying to say is, I only needed a bachelor's degree. You could probably get started with just an associate's degree, but don't go straight off the bat and go straight from high school to college, get your associates, get your bachelor's, get your master's, get your PhD, and have zero experience. That's a huge no-no, and I've seen it way too many times, and people have a hard time. They struggle because they don't have any experience, and yet they're wanting to say, I have a master's degree in this, so I should be management. It doesn't work that way. In any job that I've ever been to, you can't go straight from high school into college, get your master's degree or PhD, and not have any experience whatsoever in that career field that you were studying. So this is the path that I would suggest. If it's a CPA thing, try to go for something financial and get your CPA done. Do all the financial stuff, study accounting and things like that. Get your associate's degree done and start working. Start working part-time, start working intern jobs, and get your feet wet into that career field and see if that's really what you want to pursue. So say it is what you pursue. Maybe you're still living at home, you're still living with your family, sock away that money, put it away as much as you can. Go back to school and finish your degree. The hardest part is a lot of people will drop out of school and never go back. They'll end up having kids, they'll end up getting married, things will come into your life and will interrupt your life. Look for a way to try to delay all those things. I know it's super hard because everybody's got raging hormones in high school, middle school, college. You're just going nuts. You want to be free, you want to go do what you want to do. But if you want to be financially set, you want to be financially free, try to delay as much as you can those things, right? Those things as far as buying a car or buying a house or getting married or having kids. Try your best to do your best to sustain, abstain from doing any of that stuff and try to focus on your goals to make it financially free. Once you're financially free and you're financially set, then sure, you can start thinking about kids, because now you have a side gig, you have side money right there. You have your career under wraps. You already finished school, you've already started doing your career, and now you're on your path for a nice career with decent pay. You meet a nice woman or a nice guy. You guys talk about kids. Maybe you have 1, 2, 3, 10, who knows how many kids you're going to have. And that's great. It's all great to have. But if you start off right off the bat having kids from the very beginning, you're never going to finish school. And even if you do finish school, it's going to be super hard. You got to be super determined. You got to stay super focused. Online classes, kids screaming everywhere. It's going to be nuts. So if you want less chaos in your life, just try to delay as much as you can the family, having a family, or buying a house or buying anything super expensive, and just focus on you. Focus on getting through school. Focus on saving as much money as you can, and try not to buy the latest stuff. Don't go out partying, don't go out drinking, don't go do crazy stuff. Save all that stuff for later. Once you reach that financial freedom milestone, whatever that number is for you, that the amount of money you bring in is dividends, interest, and all that stuff covers all your bills and your living expenses, then sure, now you don't have to work. You can do whatever you want to do. If you want to go to the bar and go drink away your money, then that's what you would do. But I highly suggest you don't do that either. Again, so this is for those people that are from 18 years of age all the way up through 20s, 30s, right? In that time frame. In that time frame, a lot of stuff, a lot of your life happens, starting from when you're 18 years old all the way to 30 years old. A lot of life events will happen and occur in that time. It's the most stressful time that you're going to have in your young adult lives. So as soon as you turn 18, you're like, oh, I'm about to graduate high school. What do I do with my life? Maybe it is that you have no clue. You talk to everybody that you know. Maybe you live out in the middle of nowhere and there's really nobody to talk to. All you got is the internet. And you see all these things and you can research stuff and you really dig in. Don't look at the surface. Like really dig in and find out like how much education is needed to do whatever it is that you want to do. And maybe you realize I don't want to do any of that. Maybe you want to delay things a little bit. Maybe I need more time to think things through. There's always the military. So why would I bring up the military? There's this thing called the Montgomery GI Bill. The Montgomery GI Bill is basically college money for you to use, basically paying for you to go to school. So you don't have any debt. You can use the college money that they give you from Montgomery GI Bill to pay for all your schooling. Now the other thing that they may or may not tell you is to do the buy-up program. So let's say you do 4 years, you sign a 4-year contract or an 8-year contract and you obligate yourself to do the reserves, or you go active duty full time. I would suggest that you go active duty full time, but let's say that you want to stay local, you want to stay with your family, you do the reserves thing. You go to boot camp, you complete boot camp, and then you come home and you become a weekend warrior. You go to college, you do your college thing, and then every weekend, once a month or every so often, you go out and you do your weekend warrior thing with the reserves. Maybe that's what you want to do. If you go active duty, you go full time, now you have a lot more opportunities. You'll have all your medical covered. You'll have any education that you want to do covered or reimbursed while you're in active duty. You'll have your housing taken care of. You'll have your clothing taken care of, because your uniforms and everything like that it's going to come out of your pay no matter what. But at least you know exactly what you're going to wear. You don't have to wake up and wear some designer blah blah blah. You just throw on your camis, your BDUs, your alphas, your charlies, your bravos, your deltas, whatever it is that you got to wear, and you know exactly where you're going, who to salute, who to say yes sir, no sir. You know where you're going to be at what time. Your schedule is set and it's put in place for you every day. You know exactly what you're going to eat, how to eat, when you're going to work out, where you're going to sleep. Everything's planned for you, so that all you have to do is just follow that plan. So this is awesome too, because since all those things are provided for you, you can go to a chow hall and pay like pennies on the dollar for a full meal, or you can go to a grocery store if you have a off-base housing or on-base housing. Later on, when you pick up rank, you can cook dinner for yourself and save money. So this is a great opportunity for you. Going into the military, you're getting free money to go to work, free money for college, free money to attend school while you're enlisted. And then you can take all that money and sock that stuff away. I'd put as much as you can into savings. You don't have to go very far. If you're living on base, you can walk to work in most cases. Most bases that I've been to anyway, you can pretty much walk or ride a bike or catch a ride with your neighbor and go to work with them and save all kinds of money. So this is a good opportunity for you to save too. It also gets you out there. You get to travel. You get to go to places. The Air Force would be the best one, I would think, because you can go to really nice bases that are in really nice places around the world. Maybe not so much on the Navy side, but if you're a sea-bound person, maybe you love the sea. Maybe you want to be at sea for 6 months at a time. But not all Navy jobs are sea-based. I'm just saying you could be on a ship. You could become a doctor or a nurse or something like that. There are really nice Navy corpsmen and things like that actually get involved with the Army and get involved with the Marines when they get deployed and things like that. There's plenty of opportunities. What I'm trying to get at, you can become a pilot in the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, the Army. You could do those things. You can get into IT. So you can get into a lot of other fields while you're still getting paid and to get the experience while you're enlisted. And then you can decide whether on you serve your 4 years or your 2 years active duty and be like, you know what, I did this now. I thought I was interested in accounting and I did this. I'm not interested in it. And then when you get out, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to school, I'm gonna go to college, I know what I want to do. So it buys you more time, but you're still getting paid. You have housing, you have food, you have everything provided for you. You just have to go through the whole routine. You could stay in. You could make a whole career out of it and have a retirement check at the end. 20 years may sound like a long time, but 20 years of time into the military and you retire and have that paycheck and have the military medical benefits and things like that, it's worth it in the end. I mean, you get the military pay for the rest of your life and you have your medical covered. You know, it's good to go if you retire. Now, if you separate on honorable or anything like that, you're not going to get that. They'll offer it to you, but you're going to have to pay for it out of pocket. You'll still have the VA. You can still go to the VA and things like that, but it won't be the same as like having TRICARE, where you can pretty much go to a whole different list of doctors that are. TRICARE is basically healthcare. You can use TRICARE to go to a hospital of their choice. I mean, they'll give you a list of hospitals that are in the TRICARE agreement. I don't know how to explain that right now, but again, with the whole military thing, medical's covered, dental's covered, vision's covered, housing is covered, transportation for the most part is covered. If you need to fly somewhere, they're going to PCS you somewhere, they'll put you on a military plane. You don't have to pay any of it. You don't have to pay none of it. And even if you did have to pay it, as soon as you land on the other side and you fill out a piece of paper that says, this is how much my airline ticket was, this is how much the taxi was to take me from my house to the airport, this is how much my luggage was and how much I had to pay for all this and this and this, and they'll reimburse you. You pretty much didn't pay anything to travel. You can go from the US to Paris, or go from the US to Japan, or go to US to wherever. Name a place that has a military base, and if you're enlisted in that group, maybe that's where you go. You probably get the choice to pick. Some bases, some places let you choose where you get to go. And I mean, it depends on what your MOS is, what your job is. You can pick where you want to go. So it's just an option for you to start thinking about things outside the box. I'm not going to go any more into the military stuff. This is all about that there's options, what I'm trying to show you. Options to start saving money, socking away money, but this is your prime time right now where a lot of stuff is happening. A lot of things are changing. You'll have boyfriends and girlfriends and everything in between, and you just got to stay focused. You can have all that stuff, but just be aware that as soon as you start having kids, you start buying a house, you start buying cars, you are now creating this obligation that's lifelong in some cases that may slow you down dramatically. It's going to take you from where I used to live at home with my parents, had no bills, no responsibilities, all I had to do was work and sock away 90% of my income. Now all of a sudden when kids start coming in, that's where all your money is going to start going. Now you got to start considering a house, you got to consider all these other things, medical expenses, and things like that. So money starts going out the door towards those things, and now your dream of retiring early has been delayed. Not saying it's gone, I'm just saying it's going to be slowed down dramatically, or it's going to be delayed. So you just keep that in mind. That's all I got for you for now. If there's any comments, questions, concerns, or whatever, again, like I stated many times in my other videos, I am not a financial advisor. This is just for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes, just sharing my perspective on things and my suggestions to you. I hope that it helps you or provides you some kind of value to you and opens your eyes to things to start considering. Please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a nice one.